Good morning, friends. It's Emily from Pointer's Place, and I'm back today with a fun little video. I've been thinking a lot about having company over because it's something that I've missed so much since the start of quarantine, and it's something that both Bryce and I love to do. And so I was just thinking more about that and how having company over is sometimes so stressful for people because it's like my house has to look perfect or my food has to be like some amazing thing that they'd get at a 5-star restaurant. And I guess I've just learned over time that that's really not what matters. And what really matters is having people over and spending time with them, because that's why they're coming over, because you want to be with them and they want to be with you. And I think putting that into perspective and just realizing that I don't have to have some perfect house and I don't have to have some elaborate meal has just made it so much less stressful and so much easier for me to just enjoy having time with them. So this video is going to be all about the different easy meals and easy things that I do when we have company over to make it much less stressful and more enjoyable for me to just sit back and relax and enjoy their company. If you've come over to my house before, you've probably had Kim's Chicken. And Kim's Chicken is a crock pot meal, and you put in obviously however many breasts of chicken you need, and then you put in a can of cream of something soup, a block of cream cheese, and then a packet of either ranch dressing seasoning or my mom uses Italian dressing seasoning. And this is a recipe that I hated as a little kid because I was super picky, but now I find that it's just comfort food. Everybody always loves it, and it's so easy because I can just serve it with potatoes or rice and then steam some vegetables or saute green beans or something like that. And then if I have extra time, I'll make rolls or biscuits or something to go along with it. But it's always a crowd pleaser, and it's something that I don't have to think about because I've already put it together in advance. The second thing that's always on repeat is barbecue chicken sandwiches. This is so easy because for the chicken, I just put a bunch of chicken in the crock pot, and then I will use the little batter beater thing for my KitchenAid to shred it up and incorporate the barbecue sauce in it. And then I'll usually get like a take and bake baguette from Kroger or Fred Meyer or Walmart, wherever you get them. And then I will melt some cheese on there, put that on there, and then you've got the veggie tray, chips, whatever you can think of. And it's always a crowd pleaser. It's always really easy. If people don't want the bread, they don't have to have the bread. They can just eat more veggies, or if they want more bread or more chips, they can do that too. So it's really versatile, and people can kind of make with it what they want. The third idea I want to throw out there is Papa Murphy's pizza, because it's so easy. Everybody loves pizza, and you don't always have to put on some big elaborate spread just to have company over. It can be as simple as having pizza, because everybody loves that, and for picky eaters, it's gonna make them a lot less stressed out because they know exactly what they're gonna eat. My fourth idea is to do a waffle bar. This is something that we did all the time as kids, especially on Sunday nights. If we were gonna have people over, Mom would just whip up some like waffle batter, or you could even do pancakes or something, and then have a bunch of toppings. So berries, whipped cream, peanut butter, syrup, bacon and eggs you could do too, or you could do more savory stuff, green onions, that kind of thing. And it's always really good because it's customizable and people can take what they want and leave what they don't want. One other thing I want to mention is that I am kind of a picky eater, and Bryce is a really picky eater. And so you'll notice a theme with all of these recipes that they're very simple and they're crowd pleasers, and for the most part, people can take what they want and leave what they don't want. And the reason I try and do that is not only to accommodate, picky eaters, allergies, whatever, but also because I never want people to feel stressed or worried about coming into my house and eating my food. I want them to just feel like they're totally welcome, and that they'll never be, I guess that I will never be offended if maybe they don't like something or they don't eat something, because the reality is I just want to spend time with them and I want to get to know them. And of course I want to make them food that they like, but I'm also really not going to be offended if they're like, oh, I'd, rather pass on the broccoli. My fifth idea is to do a potluck. And I'm not usually a potluck person. However, one benefit for picky eaters is that you can bring something that you will eat. And I find that if we are hosting a potluck, it's my general rule that I put a ham in the oven, or I put chicken in the crock pot or something, and I have like the main meal figured out, and then the potluck portion is just supplementing that. And that kind of puts the pressure off of me as the host, because other people are bringing in the side dishes and I can just focus on, these two things or whatever it is. And that way other people can, be creative and bring something, maybe bring a new recipe or bring a family favorite or whatever it is. And that can be something that's kind of fun and makes the whole meal come together a lot easier and with a lot less pressure on the host. The sixth idea I have is to not make dinner. Either have snacks, have a snack bar with, pretzels, cheese, crackers, apples, carrots, whatever kind of snacky type items, because usually people come over and, you're there for a purpose. You're there to play a game, or you're there to chat, or whatever it is. And so food doesn't have to be the focus. It's fun when food is, the focus. You invite people over for a meal, but that doesn't always have to be it. You can just simplify it to snacks. The other thing you can do is have people over for dessert. That way you can just put brownies in the oven and have ice cream, or you can bake a cake, or my grandmother makes this berry, I think she calls it a trifle. I don't know what the right term is for it, but it's always really good. It's angel food cake and then berries, and I think she puts some kind of a like sugary sauce in there too, and is it buttercream or something else? I don't know. I'll have to ask her for the recipe and figure that out, but you could Google it and find one that I'm sure would be just as good. And anyways, beside the point, having people over for dessert can be a great way where they just, come over past dinner, they're just having, a simple meal, and you guys can focus on the rest of your evening together. My last idea for having company over for dinner is a little gadget that we had as a kid, and it was like a fun tradition that we had, and we did it with the like special company where mom wanted to make a really special meal, and it's called a raclette grill, and I'll type it out on the screen. But essentially there's the top part, which is for your meat, your veggies, whatever, and then the bottom part is it melts cheese in little individual pans. And I'll link one below so you can see what I'm talking about. But it's a really fun way to do a fondue kind of thing without all of the hot oil, hot cheese in the middle of the table kind of thing. It's much more individual. People can take what they like, leave what they don't like. And it's a fun tradition that we did with my family as kids, and I still do it with my husband, and when we have special company over too. It's a conversation starter as well, which is fun. And I will say usually we do it with just steak, because I don't like the idea of putting raw chicken on the grill, because that has to be cooked to a certain temperature, where steak you can have it medium, you can have it well, you can have it, medium rare kind of thing, and it's okay. And it's also safer, like if vegetables or whatever touch that. Whereas with chicken, it has to be cooked to a certain temperature. And so I find that usually like beef is better on there, which can make it more expensive, but it's still a really fun meal to have with company over. And it's something that's simple, but that people haven't probably had before. Well, now you guys know exactly what you would have if you came over to my house for dinner, because typically I rotate through those different ideas and maybe a few more. I try something different. But those are my stress-free ways to have company over and enjoy having the company over. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if you try any of these recipes. And I'd also love it if you shared with me your recipes that you do when you have company over to your house.